Hi there. Um, Welcome back to another video on the Save 22 channel. And it's me, your host, yours truly, Eric. I'm sitting in my dad's garage today, so bit of a crazy background, but um, yesterday, you guys might remember a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago now, there was an upload about this little almost like a question and answer thing, like getting to know you that I had with God. And I asked him what kind of car he prefers. And I'll link that video in the description for you guys that haven't seen it or those who want to see it again. Now, guess what? Last night, before going to bed, I got another opportunity like that. I thought, hey, I'd really like another one of those like things, and then God's presence was there, and obviously He likes it when we talk about Him a lot and seek Him out and want to know more about Him, bring Him into the front of our daily lives, our minds, show Him attention and worship, general term worship. So then I asked, oh, can we do another one of those? Hey, let me find out what you prefer. He's like, yeah, that's great. Let's go for it. So then I said, all right, cool. And I thought, I couldn't think of anything to start asking him about right off the bat. So then I thought, what about, we done cars, and then I thought, hey, what's another like luxury thing? Oh, what would a king have opinions about? So I said, what about like palaces? And then I thought, palaces like in East Asia with the roofs, and then I thought like palaces in Europe, castles, and I thought like all the different types of castles and palaces that kings of the earth that we know of have built. And he said, oh, I like all of these are cool. And then I said, yeah, but you know, if you had to choose one, what would be your preference? And then he hints at like kind of like European castles, like fortresses, you know, big, with this. And then I said, oh, because of the stone construction. He's like, yeah, the stones, you know, it's strong and mighty. It'll stand up to a lot, and it's a fortification. It's glorious. It's luxurious. You know, kind of like these big fantasy castles. And then I said, oh, that's why these big cathedrals were built in your honor. He's like, yeah, definitely. Of course, you know, who knows about the history, and, you know, dig too much and you'll find all kinds of, but the essence of, he's like, yeah, but many pious people came to know my glory by seeing and worshiping in these places. And that was, you know, what their true purpose really was. And then he's like, yeah, these big cathedrals. And then I said, oh, you know, if you think about churches being made today, yeah, they're kind of like maybe cool, but they're not like the massive things that were built in medieval Europe at the time. I mean, like a whole like capital, like the kings would dedicate a lot of resources to build these things, and it would take a long time. For example, you know, Gaudi's Sagrada La Familia in Barcelona. I mean, that is stunning. It's still under construction today, right? And he's like, exactly. And this sort of next level awesomeness is achievable, you know? So then I said, and then the thought came like, oh, but, you know, I have a background in construction, structural, you know, civil engineering, heavy infrastructure. So then I said, oh, it would be cool if we build things in the future to come. He's like, yeah, that's what we're going to do in the Millennial Kingdom. I was like, wow, cool. He's like, yeah. And then I asked, like, you know, these things are going to be like a different level, right? Like we're going to just like make it even bigger and bigger. He's like, exactly. And they're going to be something else. And then I kind of tangented out and I wondered like, oh, is it true what they say that people are going to like, you know, there won't be like disease and things like that? He's like, yeah, there's a whole different like the things that we worry about today won't be a thing. So then I was like, what about like, you know, we'll build things and that won't be a major problem, and but we'll, you know, and he's like, yeah, but imagine like more like a certain type of utopia where it's like you have these things that you like to do, you go and um, study like computers or whatever, for example, or art and design, and there's no limit. Your mind is on a different level, right? And then you just get involved in these things that are being built to sort of, you know, have something cool to do. And at the same time, it's like, oh, and if you want to explore the oceans, you have just as much access and time, no problems, no like money issues, no laziness issues about, you know, getting a scuba license and then pretty much wherever you want, explore the wonderful oceans. And maybe there's some restoration work that has to be done too, like bringing the world back to life or something. I don't know. So he's like, yeah, exactly. And then I asked, what about like spreading into the stars? And he's like, yeah, exactly. We're going to be going into space and going further. And then I was like, wow. And then I thought, like, what about like floating church fortress castles, right? And he's like, yeah, exactly. That's what we're talking about. I thought, wow, that is so crazy. And he's like, imagine all these clever things that people are becoming good at. Imagine if you unleash their potential, if you give them access. And it's not about money, it's not about, you know, having a good teacher. It's all just on a different level of accessibility. It's about self-actualization and worshiping God and having this existence worth existing in, you know? So I said, you mean like the craziest techno-utopia you could have ever imagined, where we don't have to struggle against like biological degeneration or like diseases? And he's like, yeah, there's still like termination of life, but you're not going to worry about cancer, let's put it that way, you know? You're not going to be worrying about no biological outbreak. And then I said, also you incorporate like spiritual growth and, you know, higher development, higher purpose, really understanding something. He's like, exactly. So then it sounded like a techno utopia slash self-actualization slash higher, like, you know, almost like everybody becomes some wise King Solomon or something, you know. It's like, yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool. It's gonna mean a lot and it's gonna be worth being part of. So I was like, wow. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.